Hey folks, this is Kelani. Welcome back to the Antorus raid guide for normal and heroic. This time we'll be looking at the portal Keeper Hasabel encounter. This fight takes place on one main platform and 3 smaller platforms which you can access via the portals around the room. You don't need to worry about the extra platforms until their portals become active. This happens when the boss reaches 90% health when she activates the red portal, at 60% health when she activates the green portal, and at 30% she will activate the purple portal. When a portal becomes active, a mini-boss will spawn which you'll have to deal with, but let's talk about Hasabel's abilities first. While on the main platform, your group will want to stack as much as possible, so you have one melee clump and one ranged clump. This makes healing all of the AoE damage so much easier. Your tanks have an ability to deal with called Reality Tear. This applies a damage over time effect which stacks. You'll want to tank swap around 3 stacks. When these debuffs expire, they deal a large amount of damage to your raid, so be sure to keep your raid topped off as often as possible. The boss will also cast FELSTORM Barrage. This creates 3 large green lines which cover a large portion of the main platform, and after a short delay they will explode, dealing a huge amount of damage. You will want to avoid these as much as possible while staying with your stacked group. Hasabel will also cast Transport Portal, which spawns a few adds. You will want to tank the boss near a wall, so these adds all start relatively stacked up to help your tanks pick them up and your DPS to start cleaving them down ASAP. To start with, you will only have Fellblaze imps spawn. On normal, they don't do anything special, just stack them up and cleave them down. On heroic mode, they will try and cast Fiery Detonation, which deals a huge amount of raid-wide damage. This has to be interrupted. Thankfully, these adds can be crowd controlled, so make good use of your AoE stuns. The boss's last ability is Collapsing World. She will create a huge purple void zone which explodes, dealing raid-wide damage, but if anyone is caught within the zone itself, they will probably get one-shot. To deal with this, you want to tank the boss near the edge of the room, move when the purple zone spawns, and then either move back to where you were or just move to another edge. If at any point during the fight you have no players on the main platform, Hasabel will cast Catastrophic Implosion, which deals a huge amount of raid-wide damage and increases all enemy cast speeds and damage dealt. It basically wipes your raid. When the boss reaches 90% health, the red fire portal will become active and Vulcanar will spawn on the fire platform. While the mini-boss is active, the portal will continually deal increasing damage to anyone left on the main platform. If you don't kill the mini-bosses quickly enough, your main platform group will eventually die. You'll want to send one tank, some healers, and most of your DPS up to the fire platform. In our 30-man raid, we sent 20 people through every portal and kept 10 behind to keep the adds under control. Up on the fire platform, you'll have to dodge supernova circles. They're just orange circles which appear on the floor. Dodge them and you won't take any damage. The mini-boss will also try to cast Flames of XOROTH, which deals a huge amount of damage within 10 yards of the boss. You need to interrupt this every time. He will also try to cast Unstable Portal, which deals a huge amount of damage to your raid and increases the casting speed and damage of all enemies. Again, this has to be interrupted every time. You can also find ever-burning flames on this platform. If you run into one, you'll get a debuff which lasts for 10 seconds. The debuff deals damage over time, and when it expires, the flame will spawn somewhere nearby. When Vulcanar dies, have 1 or 2 mobile DPS pick up 1 flame each, and run them over to the shadow portal. These will be used later in the fight. When the mini-boss dies, the red portal will still continue to AoE the raid, but the damage will be significantly reduced and it will pulse less often. When Hasabel reaches 60% health, she will open the green portal. The green portal will now start AoEing the main platform for increasing damage until Lady Decidian is dealt with. After this portal opens, Hasabel's Transport Portal ability will now also summon Fell Touch Skitterers, which can root players for 5 seconds and deal damage over time. The root is obviously quite a problem because you have to dodge constantly on the main platform, so kill these off as quickly as possible and be sure to make good use of your stuns to interrupt the casts. On the Fell platform, every player will take 10% of their current health as damage periodically. She will also cast FELSILK Wrap, which will deal damage to a player and wrap them in webs. To break them out, you'll need to kill the web wrap. Everyone should be stacked right on the mini-boss to help with AoE healing, and so any web wraps will be right next to you so they're easy to swap to and break out. This mini-boss will also try to cast Unstable Portal, which you will need to interrupt. There are also caustic slime puddles on the ground on this platform, but they serve no purpose on normal or heroic, so just avoid them entirely. When Lady Decidian is dead, the green portal will deal less damage less frequently, just like the red portal, and everyone can return to the main platform. When returning to the main platform, be careful of the FELSTORM barrage, as it can be going off as you teleport down and can instantly kill you. When you get the boss to 30% health, the purple portal will activate and Lord Eilgar will appear on the shadow platform. Once again, the portal will start dealing increasing damage to everyone left on the main platform, but it will also start reducing the damage they deal by 1% every 4 seconds. At this point in the fight, Hasabel's transport portal will also summon Hungering Stalkers, which will try to cast Howling Shadows. This deals damage to everyone on the main platform and interrupts spellcasting for 6 seconds, so make sure to interrupt Howling Shadows and once again make good use of your AoE stuns. While heading over to the shadow portal, one of your DPS should pick up the flames that was dropped earlier. Don't dispel this flame, you need to go through the portal and let it expire so it will respawn nearby. On the shadow platform, your vision will be reduced to 8 yards around you, unless you are near the little flame that was brought across from the fire portal, so your entire raid will need to stack up on the mini-boss so everyone can receive healing and everyone can damage the mini-boss. The mini-boss will also cast Delusions on your healers, which prevents them from healing but regenerates 2% of their mana every second. If you have healers who are struggling with mana, you should send them up to the shadow platform, and you can dispel the debuff when you're happy with your mana. Just don't dispel other healers too early. He will also cast Corrupt, which deals shadow damage to everyone within 20 yards and increases the damage they take by 20%. This ability does stack, but on normal and heroic it isn't cast frequently enough to start stacking, so you don't really have to worry about it too much. As with every other mini-boss, he will also try to cast Unstable Portal, which you need to interrupt. After you've killed the mini-boss, the portal will deal less damage and pulse less often, just like the others. All that's left is to finish off Hasabel while dealing with all of her usual mechanics. So that's all you should need to take down Portal Keeper Hasabel on normal and heroic difficulty. Be sure to check out the other boss guides so you're well prepared for anything Antorus can throw at you. Remember to leave a like just below the video before you leave, and if you want to see more, make sure to subscribe. But apart from that, thanks for watching folks, good luck and have fun, and as always I will see you next time.